So today I wanted to install a mail server called Postfix. Postfix is a great mail server and you can put it on the Raspberry Pi, which you should be able to see right there. So why would you even want a mail server? Now there's different configurations. You can create a mail server so that it just relays mail. That's all it does. It just accepts mail and sends it, and you could even have aliases so that you could have user@yourdomain.com actually point to a real account. And a lot of accounts look like some letters, numbers, at a specific server, but that way there's more human-friendly alias, meaning name at your domain. The other great reason to have a mail server installed is, let's say you have an app running that sends mail. Well, a lot of the mail sending apps just kind of fire and forget, meaning it shoots the mail and that's it, and you don't really know what it's doing. Say it's Oracle or something, it's just shooting a mail, pulling some stuff out of the database and firing it off. It's not SMTP compliant. SMTP is Simple Network Mail Protocol, and the protocol is great because you can set parameters in mail to say, well, I want to try to send mail to user@Google. And let's say for some reason you can't get to Google, your network connection's down, whatever's happening, it'll hold on to the mail and retry for a period of time until it eventually expires the mail and bounces it back to the original sender. So this is really handy for that sort of scenario where you have these massive mailing lists. And I've seen mail apps that send mail, and they'll send it to, say, a couple thousand users, and if one user bounces, it'll just crash the mail connection, or it'll stop sending the mail, arbitrarily just stopping because it doesn't know what to do with this error. Whereas a mail server will know what to do with the error, and you'll have a good log that says, this alias doesn't exist, or non-existent user, or refused connection, or TLS version mismatch. Whatever it is, you actually get some really good logs. So very, very handy. So let's get started. So here you see the Raspberry Pi, the login. I changed the message of the day to look a little colorful and cooler, I guess, and it even shows my IP address, which is nifty. One thing I did already is I added an MX record. An MX record is a DNS record called a mail exchanger, MX, and it basically says when you receive mail for a domain, send it here. And you can have multiple mail servers, and you can also put preferences in there. So let's take a look at the record, the record. So let's see, let's go to Etsy, bind, and we're going to go into zones, and my zone is called -computing-9computing.com.db. So let's just VI that so we can just sort of see it. So here's the record, and we had talked about this in a previous video, but what the record I added was right down here, and see it's an @ symbol. That @ symbol means for the domain, the origin, right here, internet record, mail exchanger with a preference of 10. The lower the number, the higher the preference. So this is my #1 mail server. There's one right here. I don't know if that lines up. And if I added another one, say I had another machine called Raspberry Pi 2, a separate Linux box, and maybe that one is just sort of a backup. I could say it's a preference of 20, or maybe I want 2 but the same preference, so they're both 10 and they share the load. The good idea to do that is if one goes down, or you're rebooting, patching, or it just gets overwhelmed or attacked, another mail server is there to keep the mail flowing. So here it is, and it's Raspberry Pi. So let's get out of here. So now if I dig for MX records for the zone -9computing.com, I will dig at, let's see, why don't we dig at our IP address? It's right here. I could dig at the host name, but I think it might be more interesting to do it this way. Let's see, copy and paste. Oh, don't make me a liar. Okay, so that was just a typo. I had it as 167. The IP address of this box is 169. So it was working all along. So when we dig for MX's -9computing, it comes back Raspberry Pi. This is the host that mail should go to. Yay! Okay, so very simple. So now we're going to do a sudo apt update, which we do before we add any software. It's just good. Get all the packages, all the servers together in packages. See if anything's out of date. Get everything up to date. Always good. Okay, 40 packages can be upgraded. Let's do a sudo apt upgrade. If this takes a while, I'll just fast forward. Okay, so it's done installing all those packages I had, I guess sort of built up. Now we are going to sudo apt install Postfix, which is the mail server in question. Okay, please select the mail server type. No configuration. Mail is sent and received directly using SMTP. Internet with smart host. I've never actually done this part. I usually just install the package and then edit the config file. Interesting. All mail is sent to another machine for delivery. That's probably what we have to do. To be on the internet with a mail server, this is really just kind of in a lab setting, but to be a mail server on the internet, you need, most people won't do an open relay for you. However, your provider like Verizon, I believe there's an smtp.verizon.com that customers can point to. You probably have to authenticate. That's just an example. If you work at a business, they'll tell you what to point at. Here's local only, where mail is only delivered for local users. I think I may want to set up sent to another machine. I think I'll do a satellite system. Let's go with that for this example. System mail name. Mail name is the domain name used to qualify all mail addresses without a domain name. So if you just put something in like Ben, it'll throw this on. But it just sort of says Raspberry Pi. Please do not make your machine send out mail from rooted example. Yeah, that's super annoying. You get a lot of mail for root at whatever your domain name is because it kind of jams it everywhere. And in this case, people use this as an example. Okay, so let's do our domain name, shall we? So -9 computing typo classic -9computing.com. I want to make sure I spell that right. Great. Relay. I already created a DNS record for SMTP. SMTP. Okay. Please specify a domain, host address, port, etc. The relay host parameter specifies the default host to send mail to. Who are we going to relay mail to? Gosh, I don't know. I'm going to put SMTP Verizon.com in. I gave that as an example. I have Verizon. Let's see what happens. Okay, it is done. And I see here it's talking about networks, destinations. These are some of the config lines. And everything goes into Etsy Postfix main.cf. If you make changes, you have to reload. It's saying here Etsy alias exists but does not have a root alias. And then here's the service postfix reload. That's how you restart postfix. Let's spit out just what it has in the configuration. So that's postconf, it's a command. And let's just spit it out. So here's all the things that are set or even unset. And there's a lot in here. We're not going to go through every single one, believe me. But the idea is that a lot of these, for example, just aren't set, but they're available. Here's like relay restrictions. We'll just pick that one. There's a file that'll be defined as permit networks. Permit which networks? What IP addresses do you want to be able to relay mail through you or connect to you? In this case, I'll add my networks. SASL authenticated. Do you want to permit people to authenticate? Define unauthorized destinations. Response limits. There's all sorts of variables to set here. But let's jump in and let's sudo vi main.cf and see what we have in here. So this is going to be a pretty long file. Here's kind of the banner. Append .domain. What I'm kind of looking for is, here we go, my hostname, -9computing.com. My destination, networks, relay host. Now, okay, So I had to install sudo apt-get install mail utils. So now that that is installed, now I can say sudo, I'm going to do it as root mail, an account that doesn't exist, but whatever, ben at -9computing.com. CC nobody, subject test, bunch of garbage, and then you put a dot as the end of line, and that should send it, and it's not sending it. Okay, making me a liar. Wow. Okay, that didn't look good. So I'm just looking in the mail queue. Mail queue is empty. Okay, I think we need to do a little more configuration before we start messing with this. So let's go back to our main.cf file. So we're going to edit the main.cf file. Let's go to Internet Protocols. I'm not running v6. Oops, Internet Protocols, iNet Protocols all. Oh, it's at the very bottom, isn't it? Let's comment this out. Comment is a, oh, I mean, sorry, got to become root. Let's do this as a sudo iNet Protocols. We're going to comment that out. Let's open up a new line. Oh, did I open up a line above it by accident? Let me clean that up, sorry. Okay, open iNet underscore protocols space equals space, and I want to say just IPv4 only. I'm just going to do a quick write. Let's also, I think we already confirmed this was right, but my host domain name is correct. That's the right server. Okay, the relay host, like I said, we're going to need to kind of look into that. I don't think that's going to just allow any random connection. Okay, now that we just made that change, let's do a quick postfix. Oh, gonna have to be root here, sudo service postfix restart. Helps to type it right. Failed to restart. Oh, postfix service is masked. Okay, I made myself a little smaller, and I figured out what was going on. Basically, if we sudo vi, whoops, I'm in something else here. Let's just break out of this. Quit. Okay, so if I sudo vi main.cf, and I didn't put the networks in, oops, my network, so here we go, my networks. I only had 127.0.0.0/8, so I put in my networks. I commented out relay host just for the moment. I'll put that back in later, and I restarted mail. And then I sent myself a mail. I won't retype the whole thing, but basically if I installed telnet, sudo apt install telnet, and I connected to localhost, and I typed in like ehlo, then mail from, receipt to, some data, subject, and then dot to end and quit. Now if I type mail, I sent mail to root, so oops, I should do sudo mail, no mail for root. Oh, that's because I did it up here before, and I printed it out, and this was the message that came to me. So here's the header. It's a short header, so it shows from. Here's the body of the message and the subject. So I should have put the subject at the top, but so from, the date, the message ID, and then who it's for was sent to root at dash by this server sent it to itself, so received from localhost and delivered to, and that's it. So, and here's the original from, and that's how I sent a mail to myself. So it does work. Yay! Very basic setup. It doesn't have a lot of rate limiting in it, or like spam house, RBL kind of databases, XBL, all these different ones that block mail from known bad senders. But maybe we'll add it.